closer than breath. You are the air, sweeter than laughter. You are here. I am a wanderer. You are my peace. I am a prisoner. You are release. Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev. I am a pilgrim, the road so long. I am the singer, you are the song. Held in the open sky, so far above. I am the lover, you are the love. Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev. Footsteps through the flame. All that I ever need is in your name. Carry your heart and love, vast as space. All that I am today is by your grace.
Love is the highest frequency that there is. And many people go their entire lifetime without experiencing love. Whether it be their parents mistreated them, abused them, boyfriends, girlfriends abused them, beat them down. And not even just narcissists, I'm talking about just regular people that go their entire life with never having experienced love. And love is the highest frequency that there is. In order to make the world a better place, we need to show compassion, kindness, love. We need to appreciate and cherish the people who are around us. And if you do happen to meet someone special, don't take that person for granted, because what we're seeing is a lot of petty behaviors, people mistreating one another. It's not that hard to get along. It's pretty easy. It's only these various media platforms that are telling us that we can't get along. We were getting along just fine before that. So, love is such a high frequency, but it seems that people want to take love out of the equation. They want people to operate on a very low frequency, which nobody that's operating on a high frequency wants to be brought down to a lower sewer gutter level frequency. No one asked for that. So it's just amazing how people can go their entire lives and never experiencing something that should bring you so much joy and elation. But in order to experience love, we have to show other people love. We can't expect to receive love if we're not giving love. So the only way to help this world is to love one another. Put your neighbor before yourself. Put the next man or woman before yourself. If you see someone in need, why don't you help that person? Why aren't you calling out stuff? If you see things that are injustices, why are you not calling that out? So that's the only thing that is going to help this world. We need to love one another. We need to appreciate one another. We need to help people when they need help. And, there are people that get married and are not in love with that person, and then have children, and then the children aren't loved. So it becomes this repetitive, vicious cycle of, creating more and more people that cannot love because they were never loved. And it just becomes a really bad pattern. And empaths and psychopaths, believe it or not, are kind of like two peas in the same pod, because mostly both of them were abused. So they're quite similar. They're not that far off from each other. They have similar upbringings, a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of nuances, obviously, but we aren't that far off from each other. So if there is some way that we can somehow learn or help each other, that would be ideal. I don't know really what the solution is, but I think love is a good starting point. Am I saying stay around a narcissist? No, absolutely not. They're very dangerous individuals, and you're not going to love them to death and they're all of a sudden going to change. I'm saying when you go out in the world, give people a chance. You don't know who they are. You don't know what their psychology is. You can't. You have to treat each person as an individual. You know. So love is the absolute highest frequency that there is, and this should be something that everyone is striving for and looking for. Be patient. Take your time. Some people may rush into it because they want children, and then they don't actually love this person, and see, the children are the ones that get damaged by that. It would be better to not have any children than to bring them into a dysfunctional situation in which they're not going to be loved, they're not going to be treated properly, and then they're going to go out in the world and repeat the same pattern. So we need to be very accountable for what we're doing and what we're bringing into the world, and what are we helping the world? Are we contributing to the negativity? Are we, you know what I mean? So, are people checking on their neighbors anymore? Not really. They're staring into their devices, and they're self-absorbed, and they're taking selfies, and they're watching Real Housewives, and they're, it's all about me, me, me. Does anyone know, uh, when was the last time you talked to your neighbor? People used to bring their neighbors like pies and stuff like that. And things were very simple. People would really check on each other, look out for the next man, be their brother's keeper. We need to get back to that, because the world is just in such a dark place that the only thing that can resolve this mess is love.